Hey kids, it's Captain Rambunctious here. Hope you're well. I love him really. Mind you, he's got the tidiest, best garage in the world ever. And beautiful motorcycles. I'm not envious or jealous in the slightest. No. Anyway, let's start this one properly. Bally Ho. The reason why I did that Missenden Flyer start intro was because someone said, and don't worry TMF, I think it was just a one-off. He said, oh, I've subscribed to you because thank goodness you don't start with hey kids. I've no idea who he was referencing. Anyway, I get all of my Triumph facts from the TMF, so there we go. I'm just a fraud really. Well, you see me on basically the first sunny day in about 2 weeks in Blighty, and yes, it's about 10 degrees and it is a lovely day for running in the motorcycle. Had a rather sarcastic comment on my reveal video saying, best way to run in a bike is to give it a few full-on roll-ons. I never said that I was doing it the best way, running my bike in. I'm not exactly the most patient person. But also, they weren't full throttle. They were half throttle. Whee! But still plenty of torque and fun. Anyway, so... Oh, I'm following a white van. Maybe I should pay attention and not talk. Someone commented on my van reversing on motorcyclist video. He said, well, if you were paying more attention to the road rather than thinking about what you're talking about, then maybe it wouldn't have happened. I was thinking to myself, well, I don't even think when I'm talking. Talking just comes naturally, can't you tell? So all my brain capacity, such as it is taken on not falling off the old motorcycle, you see. And I still haven't scraped a peg yet. I have done 152 miles now of the required 500. Lorry! And, yep, still haven't scraped a peg. But that just shows how I'm not mashing it as fast as I can. Still not going over 4,000 revs. I haven't redlined it yet. So we'll see. I hope whoever gets a bobber demo from Triumph doesn't mind the fact that I probably redlined it before it was running. Ha ha. Yes, anyway. Very, very poor of me. But when the journalists go on these demo rides in Spain, etc., they floor it from basically 7 miles on the clock. 7 miles is the least amount of miles you'll get on a new motorcycle, because that's the test ride that all motorcycles get from Triumph when they're delivered new. So mine came with 7 miles, because Triumph have to do their test ride to make sure nothing's going to fall off. That's another thing. Now, I haven't mentioned it fully, I've only mentioned it in comments. Thank you ever so much to Triumph North London, which is owned by Lind motorcycle dealerships. It used to be Hearts Triumph. Half the chaps went to Watford and half went and did something else because they didn't want to have to commute to Watford every morning. But yes, Thomas and Ben Sharman. Ben was the one that managed to twist my arm. All I did was take a bobber black and a T120 for a test ride. I came back and went, yep, buying a Speedmaster. They're both awful, really, aren't they? Anyway, I've put together a decisions video. It might be separate from this, or I might just tag it onto this one. Then again, the more videos, the better from a YouTube funding point of view, so I might just split them up and keep them split up as they are. Well, the decisions video has already been put together, so it just needs to render. Whereas this one is brand new. I haven't done it before, and here I am. So yes, I'm on my Speedmaster, rather enjoying it still. La 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 la. A lot of the comments have been about the straight bars, and yeah, just feast your eye on that. Van's braking! Crash whilst I'm looking at my lovely handlebars. But it's made the position much better. It's not a stretch when you turn the handlebars for me, because I'm quite tall. Beach bars, I think, are probably perfect for someone diminutive of stature, and yet, if you're a bigger chap, you've got the leg room. Your legs aren't stretched in the slightest. They're basically 90 degrees, even though the foot controls are forwards. And I'm, yeah, whizzing along quite merrily. And just pootling along quite happily. If there's a bit more wind noise than usual, I apologise. The little muff on the microphone end has fallen off and rolled away somewhere, so I need to put a new muff on my microphone. It's probably not called that, I just called it that anyway. So yes, rather enjoying my new motorcycle. I believe the best way to run a motorcycle in is not to exceed certain revs in the first 100 miles, then after that occasionally just go over a bit. But not to use too much throttle and not to stay at a constant engine speed. So every so often just accelerate a little bit and then roll off a little bit, and then accelerate a little bit and then roll off a bit. And that way the pistons don't just don't really get it, actually. I don't get why you can't just sit at a constant rev engine speed, because is that to do with the throttle bodies being open at the same level? But to stay at the same road speed, I'm constantly having to change the throttle with hills and dips. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, why we have to do that, but there we go. Someone mentioned something about pistons and piston rings seating properly and all that kind of fun stuff. But there's a certain amount of bench running in that the engine itself does before it's even put on the motorcycle. So I'm not too concerned about overstressing the engine, because a little bit of it has already been done on the bench, I believe. Feel free to re-educate me on that one. So anyway, here I am having a lovely ride. Yeah, this is a third time I've ridden this. Oh, lovely sound. It is very nice. That's the one problem with this new Schuberth helmet, is that it's even quieter than the old one because it's new. Hearing the pipes is a little tricky. Hello, Nova. Awesome! A Vauxhall Nova. Hey, how cool is that? And it was unadulterated as well. I bet they're bloody rare. Anyway, the reason why the Vauxhall Nova didn't sell very well, it was like Opel Nova in Europe. The Vauxhall Nova didn't sell particularly well in Spain because Nova means no-go. Hello, yes, I've just bought the new Opel No-Go. It's all the rage, and I'm going to have to put on a fast body kit and a new engine and a big exhaust pipe just to make it go. Anyway, yes, that's my silliness. Oh, hello, Fuel Light. First time I've seen you. So, what are we? We have done 157 miles in toto. We've done 98 miles since I filled up. Ah, interesting. But we've averaged 55 miles to the gallon. So it's a small tank, isn't it? So if we average 55 miles to the gallon, which I'll do some maths when I fill up and see if that's actually accurate as well. We've done 100 miles basically at 55 miles to the gallon. Nice. So we could probably just halve that. 100 miles, 55 miles to the gallon. So we should have spent just under 2 gallons, which is 9 litres. And the light comes on, it's a 12.5 litre tank, the light comes on with 3.5 litres to go. That makes sense in my tiny brain. That's obviously imperial gallons, not US gallons. Imperial gallons. There are 4.55 litres to the imperial gallon, but there are 3.8 litres of fuel to the American gallon. So the American gallon's actually smaller. So when I say 55 miles to the gallon, it's probably about 45 miles to the American gallon. Because I have a lot of American viewers saying, bloody hell, 55 miles to the gallon, that's amazing. Yes, imperial gallon, i.e. British gallon. British gallon's the best, obviously. Well, there's going to be no arguing here, thank you very much. It's my channel, my page, tough. That reminds me of the 4th of July when I call it Traitors' Day. Bloody rebellions. Need to stamp those out, don't we? We haven't learned anything from Vader, have we? Mind you can't really say that King George III was the Emperor. Not really. Now for the science bit. So, that was 8.9 litres, which according to this, 8.9 divided by 4.55, so it's 1.956 gallons, so 102.5, 1.956. 52.4 miles to the gallon, and this says 55.4, so it overreads by 3 miles to the gallon. And the light came on with 9 litres to go. Sorry, the light came on at 9 litres. So we've got another 3.5 litres to go. So if we've got 3.5 litres to go, 3.5 divided by 4.55, so 0.77 of a gallon
times 52 miles to the gallon, 40 miles left when the light comes on. Right, there you go. That is how you do that. So when the light comes on, I've got 40 miles left, so it'll do 140 miles on a tank, sort of average riding. That's your range. There you go, maths. Oh dear, so let's redo the trip. 160. Trip 1 is the one I do. I leave trip 2 for servicing. And I've redone the average miles to the gallon already. And there's your range. 28 hasn't registered the fact I've put fuel in yet.
So there you go, with a 12.5 litre tank, the range is 140 miles. The light will come on around 90 to 100 miles, depending on your level of excitement and input. So, full tank, what does the range now say? 130. That makes sense. Good. Well done, bike. Right, well, tally Bally Ho. Huzzah! It's pretty much as prescribed for this tank. That's why the Thruxton would do about 100. The Thruxton's got a 14.5 litre tank. And that would do an extra 20 or so miles. Makes perfect sense. I'm happy with that. Huzzah! Don't forget also that this is still being run in. So one would imagine with the proper oil in and everything else, come 500 mile service, it should get better than that. Anyway, over these bumps, and this is one of the worst bumpy roads ever. It's very bumpy, but none of this is uncomfortable. Even when I go in a big pothole by accident, which is normally it's not really a pothole, it's more just a sunken part of the road. There's a bump and a jolt, but it doesn't hurt. It's very nicely damped. Now you can get all sorts of things. You can get front preload spring adjusters, sort of bolts that go in the top of the forks. So you can sort of retrofit preload adjusters in the springs, in the spring pack. Something I noticed, which I hadn't really cottoned onto. The reason why I love the Thruxton R's over the standard Thruxtons were that the standard Thruxtons only had a black powder coat headstock top, whereas the Thruxton R's came with a beautiful one-piece polished bit of aluminium. Same thing on the Speedmasters, yay! So I'm pleased with that. Another little thing to fall in love with. And I've put the olive swing arm bag on the side. I now keep my disc lock in that. Useful place to keep it, because there isn't any under-seat storage, obviously. But otherwise, really, really chuffed. And yeah, so far, no backache, no leg ache. When going 70 miles an hour, or a bit faster, I think I have to lean into the wind a bit, and I need to brace myself a little bit, but it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't get too tiring or strenuous. So yeah, it's all very, very jolly good. Lovely. Right, well, tally Bally Ho, thanks for watching. More updates soon. Bye. Woof.